Well, I had a little buck come in this morning before light. Kind of circled around my tree stand. I went over to some scent that I laid down and kind of smelled around. Then I went out to the field and I watched it go into the field and whatnot. I saw another bigger bodied buck out there. I can't seem to find it. Tried grunting at him a couple times, so hopefully he's making his way in. There's two of the smaller ones across the field. Kinda looks like the bigger one is trying to fight with the little one. It's November 3rd. Opening gun hunting over in Minnesota, which just across the river. So there's vehicles driving all over there, and shotguns being fired every once in a while. So hopefully they scare something over to this side of the river.
As I watched the snow come in, I heard behind me some leaves crunching. Turn around and sure enough there's a buck. Even though he turned out to be a small one, I got up just in case there was a bigger one following him. This little buck might not quite know what he's smelling, but he knows he likes it, following this doe right into my tree stand. Now I just gotta hope that a bigger buck smells that scent and follows in too. Contrary to what many of my friends and family think, I don't always see this many deer, but it was definitely cool, especially when this one came in, went trotting over, decided to get in a little scuffle with a buck that was a little bit too big for him. For it being pretty late in the morning, that is pretty cool to see in broad daylight.
Well, it's just about 12 o'clock. I think I'm going to do a full day sit today. Sitting in between two clumps of trees. And hopefully a big buck decides to go check out does in the other set of trees. Still thinking of you, Mike. I know you're watching over me. Thanks for that. Hopefully we see something.
Boy, do I see something, and it comes in fast. Watch closely, because it's just a short clip. Don't worry, I'll show it again though.
Holy cow. I feel terrible. That doe came, or I don't know if I don't even got the video camera on yet. Doe came running in here. Full bore. Hardly had time to even grab my bow. The buck came running in. I don't know. Instinct kind of turned the video camera on. I'm not even sure if the shot was on the video, but it went right over his back. I don't know. Thought I aimed right with the 20 yard. I might have flinched, but oh man. I think I might take one of my other arrows and shoot at a log or something just to see if my sights are on, just in case, but I guess hopefully he chases her back here. Didn't seem too terribly scared.
Here's what video I did get of that buck, slowed down to 10% speed. He was a nice one.
Oh, that little stump there. At 20 yards on the rangefinder, so it's probably just under.
Took my time, drew my bow, aimed, squeezed the trigger, and sure enough, it was dead on.
Oh, can't see it, but it nicked the top of it. Must just be under 20 yards. My sights are on. Oh, that means I'm off. Oh, my heart was beating like crazy. I must have flinched.
This deer was nice enough to come in early afternoon, keep me company, keep my mind off of my bad shot. He's actually the same buck that came in following that doe earlier this morning and ends up bedding down about 40 yards away from my tree stand. This whole day was pretty crazy. From seeing as many deer as I saw in the morning, to having a buck come running through during the middle of the day, to all the bucks I end up seeing over in the same area. This buck comes in right behind where that buck was just bedded. And before this hunt, I'd never seen a community licking branch that I knew of, but this is for sure one, considering all these bucks visited the same branch, rubbed their antlers and forehead, gnawed on the branch, and then just left. That is until this buck comes in and decides he's had enough and just makes his own scrape right below the licking branch. I was so consumed in watching this buck make a scrape below this licking branch that I didn't even notice that there was a buck running in the background until I was watching this video and noticed he looked back toward the trees. After that buck finishes making his scrape, it wasn't more than a few minutes later that this buck comes out. And I thought he was big, he's just not quite big enough. Leaving him for next year, even though his rack does have a cool crooked antler. Well, that buck ended up circling me pretty good, and I had quite a few looks at him. Just not quite big enough. Maybe 2 years. I zoom out pretty fast just because I didn't want to end up missing the buck if I got a shot at him like I did previously in the day. But holy, it is a nice 4x4. Of course, he decides to take the trail that starts at 40 yards and leads farther and farther away into the trees. So I do some last chance calling at him, hoping to get his attention. Nothing seemed to faze him. He had his nose to the ground and knew what he was smelling. He wasn't paying any attention to calls. Not positive, but I'm pretty sure it was this buck that one of the guys in our hunting party ended up shooting during the rifle season. And it ended up being a really nice 4x4. But thanks for watching, and hopefully you catch my next video.